In the know.
Good evening, everyone.
In the know.
Tony Reeves, fire. Following the news in any way, shape, or form. No shortage of things to talk about. What does it mean? What will it bring? This is a reality we simply have to accept. Tony Reeves, fire. Tony Reeves. Let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome to part 2 of our step-by-step guide to understanding your disability hearing notice. Part 2 is acknowledgement form and difficulty attending your hearing. All right, so let me get to the first portion. First of all, Social Security is going to include within your notice of hearings a form, which is called an acknowledgement form. What this form does is that it puts Social Security on alert that you will attend the hearing. So typically it says on there, I will attend, I will not attend. Basically, if you know you're going, check you're going to attend, make sure you sign it. That's important because if they're not sure you're going to come, they're going to start having their staff call you to confirm that you're actually going to be there. So to make life easier for them, sign the form and send it back to them, letting them know that you plan on attending. Now, the moment you get your hearing notice, you should be making every effort possible. Let me say this again. You should be making every effort possible. Okay, see if you should be making every effort possible. I knew where the camera was on this thing. Every effort possible to make travel arrangements. I know that I'm oversimplifying this, but the reality is that you've been waiting a long time for a hearing. You want to make every effort to get there. So whether it be calling a friend, whether it be finding out what the best bus schedule is, which is why that address is so important. If you're not sure what the bus route is going into that area, this is a great time for you to find out. You want to make every effort possible. And also, you want to be there at least half an hour in advance. So this way, if you can have the opportunity to look at your file, and if you have to make a determination that you need to maybe get an attorney or a representative, you can do so at this particular point in time. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk more about part 2 of our step-by-step guide to understanding your disability hearing notice right here on Q&A Disability, Social Security Disability Today.
Under the Social Security regulations, representatives are permitted to practice before the administrative agency anywhere in the country, which means that when you're looking for a representative, you can find someone who doesn't necessarily have to be in your state if you're just going before the administrative agency. So it's possible to have an attorney or representative who's from Utah, even though you may be in Georgia. And our office is actually no different. So if you're wondering which states we cover, check this out. Now, the tricky part is once you have to sue the Social Security Administration. Under that situation, you want to have an attorney that's representing you in your jurisdiction. So if you have a representative who's in another state and you've gone all the way to the Appeals Council and you've been denied and you want to sue the Social Security Administration, you make sure you ask that representative whether or not they can sue someone in that particular state.
All right, welcome back. If you need to change the date of your hearing, you need to let Social Security know as soon as possible. Now, here's one thing that you need to understand. First of all, just because you need to change the date doesn't mean they're going to automatically change it. Remember, you have been waiting for this thing for a while. So there's a lot of people who are waiting behind you for a hearing date. You're scheduling a time to meet with a judge. That judge has a docket of all kind of hearings that they got coming on. So if you're not going to be able to make that date, they need to be able to move it so that somebody else can take advantage of the fact that they now have an opening. So if you know that for whatever reason, that the date you have scheduled for your hearing, you're not able to make it, you need to let them know in writing as soon as possible. But let me tell you something that you also need to be aware of. They're not going to just take your word just because you say so. What do you mean by that when I say that? What I mean is, just because you say you can't make it, it's got to be a good reason. If it's a situation like, let's say the day that you got your hearing is the same day that they scheduled you for this surgery that you've been waiting over 2 years for, Social Security might cut you some slack there. But if you're saying, well, I need to, go on a cruise with my wife or my husband, yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot of sympathy from Social Security from that standpoint. Now, am I saying that they won't let you out of it? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. If you know that you need to change the date of your hearing, by all means, make every effort to let them know as soon as possible in writing and in detail. Do not give some vague, I can't make it message, because that doesn't tell the judge. The judge needs to be able to know that you have a good reason for not being able to go to the hearing on the date that you prescribed, so that they can make a determination of whether or not they need to reschedule you. All right, everybody, I hope that was helpful to you. Stay tuned for tomorrow when we talk, our next show. Stay tuned for our next show as we talk about, make sure I get my bearings right, submitting evidence and reviewing your file.
I want to thank all of you for engaging in the videos. Make sure you take the opportunity to send me any comments or send me any particular questions that you want me to have addressed here. As you know, this show is for you, and so the only way I can make sure that I can provide you some good information is if you provide me some good questions. Keep them coming, and right here on Q&A, Social Security Disability Today.